You're listening to Healthy Living with Eric Sue Podcast, episode 144. Your chance is now. I am excited to announce the next Healthy Living Mastermind with Eric Sue. It starts January 9th, 2017. Over 8 weeks, you will get Eric's proven health and wellness strategies to help you get your health back and achieve your fitness goals. Join in with other highly motivated people as we all support and inspire one another. Visit www.ericwsue.com/mastermind for all the details. Are you a first-time listener? Hey, welcome. My team and I hope you enjoy this episode. If you are a long-time listener, we thank you for your continued support. Do us a favor and share this podcast with all your friends because they deserve this amazing content as well. Okay, now on to the good stuff you all have been waiting for.
Health tips, wellness advice. No hype. Welcome to Healthy Living with Eric Sue, the show that inspires, motivates, and educates you towards your healthiest life. And now your host, Eric Sue.
Hey guys, Eric Sue here. Welcome to another episode of Healthy Living with Eric Sue. We have a light therapy specialist with us today. Her name is PJ Cardona. We will be talking about LED light therapy, what it is, and all the benefits. So without any delay, let me introduce you all to PJ. PJ, are you ready to make it happen?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
PJ Cardona is a certified LED light therapist who is here today to introduce you to the wonderful healing benefits of light therapy. Light therapy is FDA cleared for increasing circulation and decreasing inflammation. LED light therapy is a process by which energy is delivered to various parts of the body via light emitting diodes and is absorbed by the cells for therapeutic benefits. The various energy wavelengths penetrate the skin to different depths and provide the energy cells needed to activate increased circulation and stimulate cells to release nitric oxide. In short, light therapy helps your body to heal itself. PJ distributes these Class 2 medical devices for your home, where healing begins. PJ, that was just a little bit about what LED is and what you do. Can you share with us a little bit more?
Well, sure. Thank you for having me, Eric. You kind of just went over everything, so I'll just, start with the very basics. And the most important thing to know is this technology is FDA cleared for increasing circulation and decreasing inflammation. So when you think about lots of issues, whether they're injuries or disease, you're looking at lack of circulation and also inflammation. This device is cleared to combat that. So no matter what the condition is, infrared light therapy through just the chemical response in your body is going to help you. So what happens is when the LED lights hit your body, and I'll say this since we're on a podcast instead of being able to visualize it, picture wetsuit material, like a pad cut out of wetsuit material. And then there's light emitting diodes in that pad. So our pads have 3 different colors of light, which are blue, red, and infrared. Therefore, we refer to this technology as polychromatic light. Those light, different wavelengths penetrate at different levels. So whereas blue might penetrate a couple millimeters, red penetrates, these are all approximations, but red half an inch, and then infrared a couple of inches. So there's reasons for these lights, when they're put on your skin, they are penetrating and hitting different levels and different, tissues and different areas of injury. So together, combined with frequencies, what happens is your body releases nitric oxide. And I could talk for 4 hours on nitric oxide, but just know that it's a miracle molecule that none of us have enough of. Especially the older we get, the less we create. So our bodies release nitric oxide. They make nitric oxide with LED light penetration. And when that happens, ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, production occurs. If everyone remembers back to if everyone remembers back to chemistry, ATP is the energy of all your cells. So when ATP production occurs, your cells start behaving like they're supposed to, and what happens after that is just a cascade of wonderful things. Increased circulation to that area. Your body starts fighting the inflammation through vasodilation, and healing begins. If I were to say one thing only today, it is the body is designed to heal itself. We just sometimes need to help it along. Light therapy is just the most natural, non-narcotic, wonderful thing you can do for your body to help it heal itself.
Oh, awesome. I want to say we can dive into each of those areas you talked about, the lights and then, the chemical reactions and all that happened. Who would you say this therapy would be great for, though?
Okay, so anyone. I'll say just in my house alone, from the age of 15 on up to 60, everyone uses lights in our home, and there's reasons why. Obviously, if anyone has any kind of chronic pain at all, that's a great reason to use light therapy. And just staying on that subject alone, anyone with neck and back pain or ankles or knees or bone spurs, bone fractures, there's so many things, carpal tunnel, I could go on and on. Anything that is just, chronically in pain, they could definitely utilize light therapy to help their bodies heal themselves. There are definitely benefits for people who are not in chronic pain. One segment would be athletes. Anyone who is into working out, whether they're weekend warriors or they, work out every single day, they know what muscle fatigue is, and they know what muscle recovery is, and sometimes get injured when they push their bodies too much. And light therapy is just going to support the healing process our body needs because of the increased circulation and, getting the nutrients to the damaged tissues. So there's athletes. The elderly, there's many, the elderly just need light therapy just to help their bodies continue to do what they're supposed to do, because the older we get, things start breaking down. So does that answer your question?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Anyone and everyone could use light therapy.
Yeah, because I want to say that even healthy people who want to maintain the state of physical health that they have can use it, and I think that's where people may think that this is just for those who are hurt or people who are injured, but really anyone at any state can utilize the light therapy, right?
Yeah, and one of the things that I hear often is somebody who's we just call it lighting up, someone who's lighting up every day. They are giving their bodies, it's like just taking this giant vitamin that gets absorbed immediately and doesn't get excreted. We all know, vitamins are great, supplements are awesome, but light therapy is not going to be excreted and not used by your body. And people who light up every single day will notice an increase in energy. There's brain acuity when they're putting the lights on their frontal cortex and on their brain. They just have overall feel better.
Right.
So and anyone can really see the benefits of lights.
So I know you had shared some stories with me and some other people in a session that you had with us. Can you share with us a few stories with people using lights and what happened?
Sure. I'll tell the story of how I even found light therapy. I have a cousin who was landed on a ski hill. So some guy went off the jump and landed on her head, and she had a severe traumatic brain injury and was hella lifted off the mountain, comatose for 3 months, really, really severely injured. She was in her late 30s when that happened. And anyone who's ever known anyone that's had a traumatic brain injury knows that usually there's really nothing you can do except for rest and pray that the symptoms go away. And sometimes they do, and sometimes people carry these symptoms throughout the rest of their lives. So Christina actually carried these symptoms through 6 months and wasn't getting any better when she was introduced to light therapy from someone from Canada who was importing systems up there. And just within 3 days, she came off of 2 very heavy-duty narcotics that she was taking for the headaches that she was on. Why? Because the lights on her brain decreased the inflammation and took the pressure off, and her headaches went away. And then over the course of several weeks, as she did light therapy every day, a couple times a day, all of her symptoms went away. Her slurred speech, ability to concentrate, interrupted, just, not able to sleep, etc. So needless to say, she became a huge fan of light therapy just from how it healed her brain injury. So I was introduced to light therapy that way, just knowing her story. Well, I don't have a traumatic brain injury, but I definitely had some feet issues that I inherited, and a condition called hallux rigidus, where the joints don't want to bend, and it's kind of bone on bone. I had some bone spurs, so it was very difficult to walk for me. So long story made short, light therapy helped me tremendously. And then when I actually purchased a light therapy system for my home and doing lights on my feet every single day, something just happened, and one day I realized I don't have any more feet pain. And I don't know how long it was, but it was, just a chronic getting better every single day by doing lights. So I loved my lights for that reason, and I still put lights on my feet because without our feet we have nothing. And so from that, I can very much relate to the people I've helped who have feet issues, and especially people who have peripheral neuropathy. I didn't even know what peripheral neuropathy was before I became a certified light therapist, but it's a condition where circulation is inhibited in the extremities, in the hands and the feet, due to several reasons. It could be from like chemo, people who have chemo that will damage your nerves, and it often results in no feeling in their feet, which is just an awful side effect. Because with no feeling, people fall and trip, and it's just no good from there. Also, people who are diabetic can experience peripheral neuropathy, and then there's also idiopathic reasons where they just don't know. But one thing we do know is light therapy will bring that feeling back, and it's been pretty amazing, and I'm so grateful for the experience to have helped the people that I have. I'm thinking of 3 or 4 of them in particular who's, these people, mostly older, came to me, and they didn't have a whole lot of choices. There's not a whole lot of options except for drugs, and sometimes the drugs don't work, and they're not really getting anywhere. I just saw an 89-year-old man who invested in a set of lights from me about probably 4 months ago, who had some pretty significant neuropathy in his feet, and he's very active. He acts 65, but he was having major feet problems. Everywhere else, he's great. And he is so thrilled with his lights, and he does his lights every single day, and he says his feet feel great, and he's got the feeling back in them. And the reason that happened is simply light therapy increases circulation through angiogenesis and new capillary growth, and regenerates those nerves, refires the nerves, and gets light therapy to those extremities that weren't getting them before.
Excellent.
So anyway, that's just a handful of stories.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I'm already thinking of one particular person who I train who just recently had cortisone shot in her heel because of plantar fasciitis, and so I'm thinking that, wow, this could really benefit her too.
I just sent a system to my best friend from childhood, her mom, who lives in Florida, who's has plantar fasciitis, and she's done everything. She's done everything until her doctor told her last time. She said, well, what's next, since none of this is working? And her doctor said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good, and it's, what's next is not good. In other words, I don't have anything for you. And at that time, about that time is when my friend said to her mom, you got to try PJ's lights. Like, what do you have to lose? And honestly, that's kind of when people come to me, at some point I ask them, like, what's your plan B? What do you have to lose here? Because you've tried everything and you want to get better. And, the data that I can show you and the research that I can show you all that stuff, but you should try it because your body is designed to heal itself. So why don't you give it what you can with lights and see what happens? So anyway, her mom, she rented a system for me for a couple of weeks, and after a couple of weeks, her planners started feeling much better. And usually what happens is people just kind of fall in love with the whole relaxation of the lights as well, and she loved just getting on her lights. There's something about it. It's energy, and it's amazing and relaxing. So she ended up investing in a set of lights, and she just got them delivered probably about 4 or 5 days ago and was thrilled to get them. She's looking at, she's pretty healthy, but she didn't have any alternatives, and she's very excited. And I'd love to report back to you in 6 months how she's doing, but I know that lights are going to help her plantar fasciitis. There's just no doubt. That's definitely one of the conditions that is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think people have to get beyond and overcome to be able to say yes, that this is something they want to try? What do you think is the hesitation sometimes?
That's a really good question. Let's see, a couple of things. One, well, the obvious answer to that is the cost. And will the cost outweigh the benefits? And, is it worth it? So here's what I have to say to that. Investing in a light therapy system is investing in your life and your health. And this is not something that you're going to use for 6 months. You're going to use it for the rest of your life. These systems are, warranted, full warranty for a year. But for a lifetime of being repaired, if, I had a conversation with the owner of this company not too long ago, and she said, PJ, we just repaired a system that was 20 years old, and they repair it for like $75. Okay. So most companies would say, this is, 20 years old, you need to invest in a new system. But they're not going to do that. The technology was invented 30 years old. It's the same technology. They're going to fix it and keep it working for you. So someone once said to me, well, it's kind of like buying a car, a used car. And it really isn't, because the car's going to break down, the car's going to depreciate, and you're going to eventually get rid of that car. And this light therapy system is something you're going to keep in your home, and you're going to use it for anything that's in your future. That's the thing. We don't know what's in our future, but you'd be awfully lucky if you never experienced an injury or an illness or a sickness in the rest of your life. Most chances are you're going to have something. So to have this modality that helps your body heal itself, to me, is priceless. The other thing I hear, and if I can just go back to cost, I'm happy to talk to someone about cost. We have different systems, and I have, a rental program that someone can actually rent for a very small amount, a couple $100, they can rent a system for a full week and see the benefits of light therapy every single day without investing, the whole chunk of it. So what an amazing possibility to be able to say, okay, I'm just going to rent it and see if it helps me versus having to buy it and then wondering, well, maybe it won't work, which it will if you use it. But, and I can talk to anyone about that if they want to contact me later. But the other thing I hear all the time is, well, do I have to do it every day? Mm-hmm. People are so afraid of not being compliant about something. So I will say the beautiful thing about light therapy is it feels so good, people do it. And these systems don't end up in the closet or in the corner. They stay by the lazy boy in the den or by the bed or wherever you set up your lights. They stay there and they're used every single day. My lights in my house are used 4 or 5 times a day. Of course, I'm going to use them. I understand them. I know everything about them. But my children go to those lights intuitively. If somebody's knee hurts or if somebody has just had a stressful day, everyone just goes to the lights. That's what happens when you own lights. It's not something you have to do. No one's telling you to do it, but you feel better when you do it. And it's something you can do when you're watching TV, when you have your laptop and you're, checking emails. Or if you want to just check out and take 20 minutes for yourself and put the eye mask over your eyes and honestly go to another world for 20 minutes. It's wonderfully relaxing. So people ask if they have to do it every day, and I just look at them and say, you're going to want to do it every day. Compliance is not a problem with lights. If someone, gives them, uses them a couple times, they're going to understand how great they are.
Okay, cool. And one thing that I think people just need to do is just get over the idea that they're lights, and that it's as simple as that, where they do the job, what you just said, right? They heal the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me just tap in on that for just a second. So this technology is over 30 years old. It was developed by NASA. There are over 5,000 research studies and articles in major medical publications such as National Institute of Health, PubMed, Mayo Clinic, University of Wisconsin, Boston University. It goes on and on and on. This isn't woo-woo. It's not, it's not something that no one's ever heard of. This is a very effective form of therapy and will undoubtedly be integrated into medicine in our future. It already is to a certain extent. When insurance companies come around and start, that's a whole ball game in itself, insurance, which is not covering light therapy at this time. But eventually they're going to have to pay attention. When lights are bringing someone's feet back instead of amputating them, it's a more cost-effective and better therapy, right? I mean, eventually this is going to have to happen. So light therapy it's just not something that's just like someone's never heard of. And if anyone wants to do any research, all they need to do is go on, one of those major medical websites and or go to Google. And here's some buzzwords, okay? So light therapy or low-level light therapy, which is another word for LED light therapy. There's a term photobiomodulation. That's another same thing as light therapy. Polychromatic light therapy, that's our technology of using 3 different lights. All of those things, if you just put them in Google, there's just so many research articles out there. I spent the whole morning today reading about seasonal affective disorder and depression with light therapy. And, we're on our, I swear, it seems like 30th day of gray day in Chicago, and there's nothing like putting our eye mask on for 20 minutes, and it absolutely snaps people kind of out of a funk, a Midwest funk is what I call it. So there's a lot to read out there, and so I encourage anyone to research it. So I'm not sure I even remember what your question was,
No, that's
Eric,
fine.
But,
no, it's good.
Yeah.
I just want to say that you're clarifying a lot of the topics that people may want to know, which is what is it called, or how do they learn more?
Right.
One thing that I wanted to, maybe you can help our listeners, is how is your unit different from some other units that they may see out there in the world?
Yeah. Well, first of all, our system, we are Enlight Wellness. And Enlight Wellness is actually the innovator of this technology, and has been around for 30 years and making new systems for 30 years. And they were very, very proud to say they are American-made. And there's a lot of knockoffs going on out there. And what you're going to find are some diodes, China-made, bad warrant, very good. You're going to find systems that are not using the frequencies that we're using. We didn't even talk about the frequencies in our system, which I will in a little bit. And whatever anyone's doing when they're looking for light therapy, they really need to look at who they're buying from. And stand behind the product. Like I said about the warranty, that's unheard of. We are in the process of paying for several additional FDA clearances on conditions like putting the money in. This is, now we can say this system does this for this instead of just circulation and inflammation. It's just a company that stands behind its product, and it's authorized representatives.
All right, PJ. So good information. I really appreciate it. How do people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about lights?
Terrific. First of all, if you want to look into the system I distribute, it's Enlight Wellness. And the website is www.enlightwellness.com. In order to get a hold of me, you can click under Lights and Health. That's DHEALTH. And that's on Facebook. You can message me there, or you can call me at 630-624-65 to offer your listeners, Eric, a 1-hour consultation, whether it's on the phone or in person if they're in the Chicagoland area, just to call me and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about your whether or not I think lights could help you. Just get a hold of me in any of those ways. Make sure you do mention Eric's podcast so we can get you taken care of, okay? Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Eric.
All right, PJ, great information. So just to summarize, you can find PJ on Facebook under Lights and Health, or call her for a complimentary phone or in-person consultation at 630-624-6579. And just mention this podcast. We'll have all the information in our show notes. Thanks again, PJ.
All right, thank you. All right, bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Healthy Living with Eric Sue. Head over to ericwsue.com for full recaps of every show in Eric's Health and Wellness blog. Your healthy living life is waiting for you, so stay active and be safe.